grade families. My name is Antoinette Morgan. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Southside Middle School. We're excited to hear the 7th graders perform tonight. Please be aware of the exit signs on the sides and in the back of the auditorium. Please silence your cell phones, and I'm now going to hand it over to Katie Mark, Director of the Arts.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Morgan. Good evening, everybody. We are thrilled to have you here to recognize our incredible crop of 7th grade musicians, as well as their very hardworking teachers. I would like to quickly thank our Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Matt Gavin, for his constant support, as well as our entire Board of Education for their continued advocacy of arts education. Tonight we have Ms. Erica Messier and Dr. Dana Downing with us tonight, so thank you so much for being here. I am thrilled to get the show on the road and present our first group, our 7th grade band, under the direction of Ms. Christina Tomic. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, and welcome to the 7th grade spring concert. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Miss Tomic, and I have had the privilege of working with this wonderful group this year. And I'm really proud of all the progress they've made. They've grown so much this year. It's really been a treat for me to hear how great they sound tonight. So before our last number, sorry, I just want to acknowledge two soloists from our last piece. So we did have Andrew Real on flute, joined by Rachel Dryden on alto sax. At this time, I'd also just like to acknowledge the hard work of some students that went the extra mile this year to prepare a solo for NISMA. They prepared and practiced a solo and scales and demonstrated their sight reading abilities for another music teacher. And we had a few students here that did participate and prepared solos. So if you prepared a solo for NISMA, please stand up or wave if you're already standing. All right, so we have had a really good time playing for you tonight, and we hope you enjoy our final tune, Enter Sandman.
and welcome to our spring concert. I know spring took a little while to be in bloom here in New York this year, but hopefully with Vivaldi's Spring, we have officially reined it in for the season. Before we continue, I want to acknowledge a couple of people. On our first piece, we had a couple of guest percussionists, one of them being Miss Tomic, who you just saw with the 7th grade band, and the other being one of our 7th grade cellist, Henry Laram, who just picked up the part last week after breaking his arm. So, nice job, thank you for that. On our final piece, we're going to have another guest percussionist who is also playing violin right now, and that's going to be Hudson Farish, as noted in your program. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge, just this past week, we had the NISMA Solo Festival taking place at Baldwin High School, where students elected to prepare solo music and go play for what we call a NISMA judge, another music teacher from around the area that gives them a score and a grade and a ton of feedback. So I'd like to acknowledge everyone who attended NISMA this year. Go ahead, stand and get a nice round of applause. My NISMA attendees, congratulations. We're going to continue on with Dragonfire, and then our finale of Any Way You Want It. Enjoy the rest of the spring concert program.
Congratulations to Miss Ng and our 7th grade orchestra. That was phenomenal. Thank you so much. Very difficult to go from Vivaldi to Steve Perry. So I mean, I think that definitely deserves credit. We have a little bit of a stage change involved as we get ready for our choral ensembles. I would like to take a moment to thank, we have a really wonderful student with us tonight from our video club who is in the back diligently recording this performance so that the students can have it as a resource to watch afterwards and reflect upon their performances, and so that we can post it on YouTube and you can enjoy it. You can send it to family near and far. That is Leela Donlan. Thank you, Leela, for being here with us tonight. I'd like to share, I received such a wonderful phone call today, and I think it really speaks to the importance of music education and the importance of what our teachers do with our students every single day. I received a phone call from a 9th grade parent at Southside High School, and I don't know about most of you, but I'm also the parent of a 9th grade boy who doesn't always tell me much about what happens during his day, as 15 boys are often likely to do. But she shared with me that her son's experience as a Southside High School musician, as a member of the concert band and a member of the stage band, has just shifted his entire experience. And he was so nervous and anxious about leaving Southside Middle School and going to Southside High School, but his home in the arts, his home in that ensemble is what made it a little less anxiety-inducing, and it gave him a home and a family and new friends in grades 9 through 12. He suddenly had upperclassmen who he could go to for support and to ask questions about anything that happens at the building. So I want to stress to 7th grade parents, as you're starting to look ahead towards your child's high school career, you know, we're not here to shape the next players at Carnegie Hall. We're here to shape incredible humans. And being involved in the arts and being involved in a music ensemble really helps students express themselves, to find their peers, and to just feel connected to something larger than themselves. So I really urge you to consider, no matter what you think their post-secondary plans look like, continuing the work that they've started here. They've been working tremendously hard. Continue that momentum and keep them involved in the arts through high school, because it's such a beautiful segue. It's something with which they're familiar, and it provides clarity, and it provides a centering and balance in a very new, sometimes chaotic setting when you move from middle school to high school. So I just, you know, I applaud that parent for reaching out and telling me that they had such a positive experience, and I, of course, applaud our high school teachers for providing such a wonderful experience for all of our musicians. So these teachers are tremendous, our high school teachers are tremendous, and none of them would be here without our incredible elementary school teachers who really lay the groundwork and don't often get enough credit. So I would like to just give a round of applause for all of our music teachers, all of our arts teachers. They're so valued in our community, and I feel so privileged to work with them. One thing that we're doing this evening, which is new, is to recognize our students who went and performed NISMA solos, and that is students going above and beyond for an additional external evaluation from an independent adjudicator. And it sometimes can be a little nerve-wracking, but it really is a nice opportunity for our students to hear something from an outside music teacher that our internal music teachers are probably already telling them, and they feel supported and they feel that they get positive feedback. And after looking at the scores for all of our students, they really did such a tremendous job, and I'm so proud of them and proud of our teachers for preparing them as well. Excuse me. I think we're almost ready for our chorus. While you're waiting, if you would like to scan the QR code in your program, please join me on Instagram. Follow our Arts RVC Instagram account. I post all sorts of things about art, music, theater, and facts in the district, so if you ever are wondering what is happening, that's the place to find out. It is all things arts, and it's nothing but joy and happiness. So please, if you're doom scrolling, a little Arts RBC on your feed is a wonderful thing. The other QR code will bring you to our incredible parent organization, the Rockville Center Sponsors of the Arts. They are out in the lobby selling candy. Please support them generously. They raise funds to provide scholarships and other opportunities for our students, and we are so grateful for their efforts. So thank you, Rockville Center Sponsors of the Arts. And with that, I would love to introduce our 7th grade chorus under the direction of Mrs. Lagunas.
someone else's dreams. The pitfalls, the man I became. For years and years I chased their tears, a crazy speed of always needing more. But when I stop and see you here, remember who all this was for.
Thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed the 7th grade chorus portion. Just a note that there is another group performing right now, so I'm going to send the students back to their rooms, and you can go meet them there after the next group. It's about another 10 to 12 minutes. Thank you so much.
As our 7th grade chorus is exiting and our chorale students are entering the stage, we do have one more student who is here helping us record tonight's concert. His name is Volkan Naz. I want to congratulate him and thank him for being here as well. As Mrs. Lagutis mentioned, we have one more group performing this evening. Please remain and stay so that every student can have the delight of a full audience. It's so important to support them all as they've all worked so tirelessly. At the end of the evening, you can grab your orchestra student from the upstairs cafeteria, your band student from room 120, and the choral students will be in the first 4 classrooms in that corner of the building. I want to thank you all for being with us tonight. It's been a pleasure to kick off our Southside Middle School Spring Concert Series with you all. Our final group of the evening is our Southside Middle School Chorale. Thank you.
How many people are in the chorale?
Our first song of the night is Shine On Me. I love this song because I like the gospel feel and I like how we sing it.
Spoken right from the heart, guys.
I wonder if the lighthouse
I hope you guys will all enjoy the song like I do. I enjoy the song because it's fun to sing.
This song is called Sia Hamba, an a cappella piece that does not use any instruments. I hope you enjoy the vibe.
Oh Our next and final song, we define gravity from Wicked, which you may know from a Broadway musical or the recently made movie. This is one of my favorite songs because I really like Broadway theater, and Wicked was one of the first shows I ever saw. I hope you enjoyed.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts. Close my eyes and leave. It's time to I'll try defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. I'm through accepting limits. 'Cause someone says they're so. Some things I cannot change, but till I try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love. I guess I'm lost. Well, if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. I'd sooner try defying gravity. Kiss me goodnight, defying gravity, and you can't pull me down. Unlimited, my future is unlimited, and I just had a vision almost like a prophecy. I know it sounds truly crazy, and true, the vision's hazy, but I swear someday I'll be up in the sky. Flying so high, defying gravity, and never pull me down.
You know, there's been so many exciting things about this year. One of the things that we just had in Baldwin was our NYSSMA Solo Festival, and so many performers attended here from Rockville Center, some of which you're looking at right now. Can you guys give a wave if you did a NYSSMA solo? A good wave up here, okay? So we've had that, we've had the Lion King show. This is our first kickoff night for the concert, so we hope you had a great start. Stay tuned for 8th grade on the 19th and 6th grade on the 21st, and we'll see you soon.